Tony, you mentioned the 1 and 3 year plan to moving forward, and that it's not yet decided what kind of path it is. Given where the franchise is right now, what do you think is the best direction in those 1 and 3 years?
Well, I believe that when we went, I'm going to go revisionist history. When we traded players and got those 3 first-round picks, we set a path. I think we should stay on that path. Right now, we have the second most first-round draft picks in the last 4 drafts in the league. You know, I think we're top 5 and first 3-round picks in the league. So we didn't deviate from the plan, and we're not going to, because this is a massive 2 months for the St. Louis Blues.
Three weeks before the 2026 draft, General Manager Doug Armstrong, along with Hockey Ops leadership, scouts, and analysts, conducted their final scouting meetings in Niagara, Canada, a yearly retreat for the group. With 3 first-round selections and the constant shifting of assets around the National Hockey League, they have to prepare for various situations and be familiar with a deep pool of prospects.
Now, I only saw him play the times we were there. They beat the Swedes 10-1 or 10-2. So that's a throwaway game. So what other good game, what other tough teams did he play there where it was a good environment to evaluate him in? I personally throw away the 10-1 games. The other team didn't show up.
You thinking gold medal?
Yeah. They had a bad game.
I'll throw it away.
Yeah. But again, I'm just trying to understand why a guy would jump that much because he grew a couple inches.
Well, I think you see the skill set there that player controls the game. But certainly have to respect and view the fact that there's tremendous talent there. So
pull up their U18 results, the game-by-game results. Tony, I'm just doing my job.
You asked the question,
Yeah.
that's fine. I saw the player, I have a belief that this kid can be a star.
Yeah.
That's the end of the day.
I'm just asking.
10 games, that's how
Yeah.
I feel about
Yeah.
it.
there's some star play. Well, not star, but there's some pretty darn good players there.
Yeah, it follows the trend there's a lot of good stuff. There's a couple of guys you're glad you missed, but just to add a little bit of context.
Okay, he's a filler.
Is that the only reason he's on the list? Just to take up a spot?
You cannot deny this player has skill. Is he the perfect player? No, he'd be talking top 5.
All right then.
He will.
I asked the question, I got an answer.
He will fall. No, we're putting him on the list where we want him.
He's just taking a spot up.
No, he'll back somebody up to us, Phil. That's the.
So he'll jump for us.
Or jumper may be a better term. Okay, sorry.
Not questioning your guys' belief in the player. It's just when you're doing our job, you got to look and say, okay, this guy moved up 12 slots. Let's really dig in on. Was it video work? Was it just the other guys dropping? Was it just a misrepresentation of his skill? Take our experiences, and you guys knew this a long time. That's our guy, unless we flip him in the D. About 11. This is the guy.
But I also would say that there's a 10% chance that he's not there, between 9 and 10. So it's.
I'd rather take 90% chance we get him than 5% chance we get somebody else.
After day 1, the group zeroed in on the players they feel will be in their pick range and continued to turn over all the stones.
The floor is yours, Tony.
Okay, we got guys from yesterday that were discussed that need a semblance of order.
He's a dependable two-way player. He's skate. There's lots there, Lawrence.
No, I'm not. I don't have issues with Lawrence. I mean, coming off Lincoln, he was almost like top 3 on that list. He was really good there. Like, he was a driver on that team, and then he had a good start in USHL.
54 points, 25 goals, and in the playoffs, I think he's the MVP as a 16-year-old. And he starts the next year, he's the captain of the team, scores 10 goals in 13 games, and then breaks his ankle or wrecks his ankle, whatever it was. Next thing you know, he's in BU when he recovers. So. And he finished off good in BU.
Are you comfortable taking him in the first round?
Absolutely. You know, we sit back and we say, geez, you know, that team's got 3 first-round picks. They'll probably get that guy again the first. Well, we're that team now. And I think we better step up and take a guy like this because we don't have anybody like this in our stable of players. And most teams don't have guys like this. This guy's it.
Where's Dagenais on the mocks? 20 what? 28?
2, Danny?
Dagenais.
28.
Yeah. We got him in 14.
Knows how to use his size, so just showing clips where he can be physical. He plays aggressive. Yeah, there wasn't hard building out this guy's profile. There was a lot to pick from when it comes to physical play and defending.
Keith, I will say, Dagenais could be a 40-goal scorer in Armstrong. And he's 6'3.5".
But that's a dream that Dagenais ever. Well, he's not even guaranteed for 21, right? That's.
I get the need for the centerman. He got skill, grit, and size to goes the last one. So he's centerman, but it's pretty attractive. Yes,
But and it's more the kid from the Quebec League than it is the Finn.
Yeah.
That seeing the guy go like this 35 times a year make you happy?
Yeah, he's 6'4". Yeah.
With 3 first-round draft picks, the opportunity to move one to another team in a trade package is becoming more likely with each call Armstrong takes.
The final order might be off by 1 or 2.
Yes, yeah. It's just more who would want to, who needs the extra picks to move back, 6, 7 slots to grab it, 3/3 or. You guys ready for lunch? Good job, Mikey. So let's just talk this through. 15. So who's got 16? Sort of a little bit like last year where you guys did a hell of a job on your list, but at the last second we just decided we just traded for Mayu, and so we just jumped our list. If we get to the draft and there's a decision that like we need a centerman, that's a scouting decision, not a management decision on jumping. Excited about this. You guys did a hell of a job this year. So deep this up. Tell us how we are crazy about moving those centermen around. And we'll come back, we'll get this figured out, but okay? What you said.
Thanks, everyone. See you guys at the next guys. Bye.
While home preparing for the draft, one of the game's greats received the news that he will be included in the 2026 Hockey Hall of Fame class, an achievement earned from years of dedication to the game.
Hey, Keith Kachuk, how you doing? It's been a while.
Monday afternoon, I got a chance to talk to Walt. That was a great day for him. I talked about the work he had put in and the hours he and his family spent together and the years and years of service he's done to this league. And I just want to congratulate him because when we were done talking to him, he's now going to be the senior advisor to the president. So, Walt, congratulations. I'm just, Walt, that Hall of Fame thing is unbelievable. I was just jerking your chain, buddy. That's such a great honor. It is, to put that many hours in, that many goals, that many fights, that much work. And for the rest of us, just to look around here, like we have the opportunity to work with Hall of Famers. We got Al, now we got Walt. We got guys that won lots of cups. This is a good group. This is a lot of knowledge in this group. Blues Hall of Famer. So we got lots of good things in here. So again, though, but Walt, seriously on that, you guys are really happy.
While the Hall of Fame news was a great opportunity to celebrate the past, a new headline snapped the focus back to the task at hand.
Well, we got breaking news as we just found out within the last couple of minutes that the Blues have traded Jordan Kyrou to the Washington Capitals. The Blues will acquire pick number 16 in the NHL Draft, Connor McMichael and Milton Gastrin.
We obviously made a deal yesterday. We've acquired another pick. I'll just sort of cut to the punchline. In the perfect world, we would pick 11 and 29 and use 15 and 16 to improve our team. But with that being said, we're only going to improve our team if it fits the finite criteria. Thank you. That we need to do it. So we're just not going to use 15 to go out and get a guy for a year or 2 years, or we're not going to move 16 for a stopgap thing. We have a plan. Alex and I, we want to have a window. We just don't want to go in and go out. We want to be one of those teams that we have 6, 7, 8 years where we're fighting for a championship. And to do that, we got to stay patient. I believe we have to stay patient. I believe when we started this process with Mr. Stillman and his group 3 years ago when we traded Vladdy and O'Reilly, is that our goal is to get as many guys within an age bracket as we can. But then we brought in Broberg, we brought in Holloway to get into that age bracket. You know, we brought in McMichael. He's at the outer age of that age bracket. You know, we have other picks. So if we can get the player in the meat of their career for pick 15 or 16, that's a good deal. You guys won't be happy, but it's a good deal for the Blues as an entirety. But I don't see the caveat we can always change, but I don't see not getting 11. You guys have put a lot of work into it. We're going to hammer this list down. So we just be prepared at 11 and also be prepared at 15, 16, because if something doesn't come, and then we'll work very hard with Ryan and the group on how we can move 29 and what we got to move to get back up in there. I want you guys to get creative on what we do with 15 and 16 and 11, how high we can get, where's the pain level to use that stuff. As I said, we want to use 15, 16 to get NHL players, but there's also an ability to get a top 5 guy on your list, and that could outweigh getting an NHL ready player. I remember when we drafted Swartzy 1,000 years ago, it was always like, no one's done what he's done in the USHL, his point total. Like, it's where was this guy's point total in USHL? If he had stayed there all year and got 120 points or whatever a lot is in that league, what would we be saying about him?
Well, I mean, 10 goals in the first 13 games, and then he gets injured. I went back and watched all of his underage stuff because he won the MVP. They won the league. He's 16. He led his team in scoring at 16. The playoff MVP. So there's offense there. So the way he tracks pucks, he's like a heat-seeking missile. Like wherever he goes, like he tracks so well. And with the puck, he gets to holes so quick. When he pushes north, he gets to these holes and he can make plays. I know I said in the meetings he's a goal-scoring centerman, and he is, but he can make plays. This kid can make plays. So.
Johnny?
Well, I agree with everything. He can skate. He's a good skater. He plays with motor. He's a driver. This kid has character, which I like about him. He plays honest, two-way game. He's responsible. He moves his feet. He wants to be the difference maker.
If we get Lawrence at 11, do you go back on that? Oh yeah. Because we're going to probably get Lawrence at 11. I would say we're pretty much guaranteed.
I have no problem waiting a little while and say, I want to talk about this in small groups with different guys. But if you feel good about it, we're good about it. I just don't want to jam something down everyone's throat, moving guys all around, and just gonna wake up tomorrow and say, how the f- did that happen?
We went home with the whole objective being to think about this, so it's been very thought about a lot, and this is kind of how I pictured it working out when we got here, so I feel comfortable.
Well, I sent out a text yesterday to all the managers saying if we were going to move any of our picks, we want guys between 21 and 25. We want to improve. Our whole goal, as I said earlier, is to support Holloway, Broberg, Neighbors, Hofer, now Snuggy, Mayu. We want to get as many guys in that group and they can grow together. And he's at the far end of that at 24, 25.
Yeah.
So would you move 15 or 16? So you end up with one of those guys and you end up with a guy that's in the NHL for the next 3 or 4 years on your team? These are hefty decisions.
A year's worth of scouting has come to an end, and it's time to pick the future of the franchise. It's finally draft day, and the tone shifts accordingly.
These are always uncomfortable conversations, and but they have to be had. They're real, and it's not an indictment of how we do or what we do. It's just making sure what we do is right. And so I'm gonna poke and prod today. It's gonna probably get uncomfortable, but that's my job.
He's faster, he's better skater. I think his two-way detail and work ethic are very good, and he's got skill too.
So I like the player.
Well, Walt, when it's all said and done with, you're going to the Hall of Fame, buddy. As always, guys, great work. We're organized. We're ready to go.
Welcome to beautiful Buffalo for the 2026 NHL Draft. Round 1 tonight.
For the second year in a row, the draft is decentralized. Teams will make selections from their respective cities. The Blues locker room has been outfitted to become the war room, complete with draft feeds and communication devices to report transactions with the league.
But I get the honor to announce and bring to the stage Thurman Thomas.
That's their pick.
The Buffalo Sabres are proud to select from the Prince Albert Raiders, Daxon Rudolph.
All right. This finally get interesting.
In the 2026 NHL Draft, the New York Rangers select Albert Smits.
The Calgary Flames are very proud to select Carson Carrolls. Yes!
The San Jose Sharks are proud to select Keaton Bearhoff.
Boys, you're 9 for 9. Now the fun starts. Yeah, well, I just need to know what the package is, so I'm not going to scramble at the last second, so you ready to give me a couple of minutes. Okay, yep, awesome, buddy. Thanks. All right, yeah, fine. Well, that just changed. Hey, bud, I've been talking to those two teams, not 8, but 9 and 10 about moving up. So if you have an idea, get it to me, because I would entertain what you're thinking. Okay, thanks. All right, bye. Come in Smarts, right?
I think it's 60-40 that they're taking loans.
But we're taking them on.
Wards?
As long as I can fix it.
We're on the clock.
Thank you. Tynan Lawrence has been selected. So just hold.
Good job, boys.
Tynan Lawrence.
Hey, center ice.
Before making the 11th pick, please welcome Blues fans live from the Enterprise Center. With the 11th overall selection in the 2026 NHL Draft, the St. Louis Blues select from Boston University, Tynan Lawrence.
All right, so tell us about your game. What kind of player are you?
Yeah, I think I'm a 200-foot guy who can kind of, be relied on his teammates and his coaches in all situations, whether that's offensively or defensively. And, I'm a guy that wants to be a leader and just make everyone around him better.
All right, so the St. Louis Blues, growing up in Canada, were you familiar with the Blues? Were you a fan of the Blues? Who'd you like?
Yeah, a little bit. Jake Allen, when he was on the team, so growing up, I used to do a bunch of his mini camps. He was, a big Blues guy, so I have, a couple of Blues things in my bedroom right now, so it's actually a pretty cool experience.
All right, so a dream come true for you today.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Welcome to St. Louis.
Thank you. Thank you much.
Okay. Yeah, and what's the price? All right, let me get right back to you. Thanks. Is there any sense to move up 15 to 29 for 12 and 35? There's no sense chasing anybody, is there? To move, we're not.
No, not for me.
Anybody want to chase anybody? Just take our guy and keep 29 and try and move 29 up.
29 out.
Yeah, we're not going to try and chase anybody, so we're good. All right, thanks, Paul. Yeah. If we might move 15 and 29 for McTavish.
That's pro comp, but that's.
Maybe we just say, listen, we're gonna take our guy at 15. If we take your guy, we're not doing it. If your guy's there after 15, we'll do it for 16.
Well, that's your call, I guess, on the center. I mean, we just
got
the
a center.
so
Just got a center,
as long as we're comfortable there, then I would prefer to stay.
Good night if we get McTavish.
I would like to do it. Yeah.
Well, call me after this. Well, call me after 13. Okay, so who just went? Gustafson just went.
Yeah.
Was he your guy? Okay. Well, why don't you tell me who your guy is so I can get ready, because it's not going to matter now. Not like, I mean, no. Okay. Well, so my point is, if we'll know right now, like if your guy's gone, we're not doing a trade. Okay. All right, I'll keep an eye on that, and then we'll do it if it's not. Thanks, bud. Bye. If it's not, clap off. We are doing a deal.
Ready to go. And it's McTavish for 15 and 29?
Yeah.
Great.
Excitement-wise, we've hit our age group. We've hit our positional play, and we've hit our age group. You got a center with the pick here. Yep, perfect. You want to send me Mac's number after you talk to him? All right, congratulations, bud. Thanks. Yep.
We have a trade. The Anaheim Ducks trade Mason McTavish to the St. Louis Blues in exchange for picks 15 and 29 in this draft.
You guys are sure you want to do this?
McTavish for 15 and 29, that's it?
Yeah.
Great.
You want to take this kid from Quebec, pick your banging table? You're taking him higher than all the other mocks have him, higher than everybody else thinks he's going to go?
So I know, so if that's 6'4", 225, then bring either ways. Yes.
Tell me.
I like Dagenais. Yes, there's upside.
Well, upside. Yeah. No downside, though. No downside. This guy's playing in the NHL.
He's capable of it.
Okay. Thanks, Brett. They're picking. So we're picking.
All right, as soon as we're on the clock, we will select Maddox Dagenais.
The Blues pick again. The pick is in. Here's the commission.
With the 16th selection in the 2026 NHL Draft, the St. Louis Blues select from the Quebec Ramparts, Maddox Dagenais.
You were the first overall pick in the Quebec League a few years back, and so now you go to the St. Louis Blues 16th overall. Have you always felt like you were on this path and you knew you'd be able to realize your dream in making it to the NHL?
I mean, I think I knew how to do it, and I think it started with the work ethic and, you know, the will inside of you, and I think I got that, and I think when you get that, I think everything's possible.
All right, so describe your game for us. You're a big kid who can score goals, and you like to play physical, don't you?
Yeah, I've learned that game during Christmas a little bit and even before, and I think, yeah, I'm a big guy, likes to throw hits, also reverse it, and yeah, for sure, I think just create some offense with my teammate, and yeah, I think I can play on any line also.
Great work, guys. Great work. Got our guys excited.
How do you like where the St. Louis Blues sit today?
I think we have a really good core group of players in that 22 to 25 age. And then you have like Snuggie entering that age soon here too. So we're excited about this group. I think we're excited to grow with this group. When we talk to McMichael and talk to McTavish, you know, they're excited to come in and grow with a group of players, and that's what we're looking to do. It reminds me a lot of when I arrived here in 08 and took over in 10, sort of playing it for Alex Steen, doing that as with a core group of guys he can build around.
After a night that set up the young core's future, Doug Armstrong can sit back and reflect on the finale of his career as the general manager of the Blues. Soon, the franchise will have a new man at the helm.
Thanks to everybody for coming today. We're here to mark the start of Alex Steen's tenure as the Blues general manager.
It's been a joy. I want to thank you for the mentorship and leadership that you've shown me over these past 2 years, so thank you very much. I also want to acknowledge there's a lot of familiar faces in this room today, media and coaches and ex-teammates and alumni and staff members, and we've had a lot of fond and fun memories over the years, and hopefully we can create some more here.